that, guys. It keeps freezing up on me, but take two. So here with Rwenshaun Miller, founder of Eustress, and talking about his campaign, Let's Talk About It. So if you missed the first part of the interview, Sean talked about his own struggles with mental illness. But let me also interject this, you guys. There are a lot of people who struggle with mental illness. Me personally, I don't struggle with it anymore. But growing up, I struggled with depression. Started at a very, very young age. And a lot of people didn't know this. So a lot of times there are people who fully function with depression, being bipolar, or whatever it is. I mean, you could see these people, they go to work, they go to school, they eat, they live, they take care of their families, but there are certain points in their lives that these things do affect them, and if you're close to them, you'll understand those things. But the important thing is getting our young black men and women to realize that it is okay to speak out and let someone know you have something going on, and also that you have resources, to help you with these things. It's not something that you have to be ashamed of. You know what I mean? I battled with depression from the time I was like 8 years old to probably the time I was like 25. And I mean, if you look at my life, why, right? Not hungry. 2 parents in my home, no abuse, had everything I needed and wanted. Why are you depressed? It's not really something that it's not something you really, can think about or explain at a young age. It's just something that that you go through. But the important thing is you overcome it. So talk to me a little bit about what you do at these forums and like how you create a safe space for, like you said, and it's not a black or white thing, but this is not something that the African American community likes to talk about. Right. Talk to me a little bit about it.
Main thing is making everyone know that I'm a person just like anybody else. Mm-hmm. People, especially here in Bird City, people know me.
Yeah.
Like you said, we have this conception about, they have everything for them going for them. They don't have anything to worry about. And then I wanted to, demystify the fact that mental illness and mental health is not just, this person is way on this end. Like, so let's say if you have someone that may be suffering from day-to-day stressors, but then you have someone that may have to be hospitalized.
Right.
I've been on both ends of the spectrum, so I know. And it's not something that we have to frown upon because everybody deals with day-to-day stressors as far as trying to figure out how to pay bills, figuring out how you're going to interact with people in your relationships, and all of these types of things. And so all of that is encompassed in mental health. So it affects us all, directly and indirectly. So I like to start off small and let them know that it could be something that you're just having a bad day.
Right.
That's something dealing with your mental health. And teaching them about different coping skills that you can use to relax and change your perception on life. Just like you and Casey were talking about earlier, when he first gets up in the morning, he says, I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah.
He's feeding into good mental health.
Right.
So small things like that, those things, play a role in how you perceive certain things. And we don't like to think of it as mental health, but that's what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, you can be a young person, Sean and I in our 20s, and I personally thank the Lord that I don't deal with depression anymore, because it was one of those things like, you sad and you don't know why. You like, ain't nobody done nothing to me, and then I laugh at it now because I can look back on it, but you got a lot of young people who go through different things and they have no idea why they're up, why they're down, why they're high, why they're low.
Right.
And it could be a bunch of different things. And let's also talk about how what you went through fueled your passion. That's another thing I want to talk to the young people about as well. You can either take what you go through and be bitter about it, or you can use it as trajectory to propel you to your purpose. So Sean took something that he went through, and he didn't say, okay, this took 2 years, 3 years out of my life, or da-da-da-da-da. You know, I might have lost some things in the fire. But Sean said, I'm going to take what I went through and I'm going to use this for my purpose. This is what I want to do. Because I remember you wanted to go into dentistry.
Right.
So, you know, and a lot of times we have these plans of whatever that we feel like in our minds, but we'll go through certain things and it'll shift us a little bit. You know, we'll find our new purpose. You know, 8 years ago, I thought I was going to be in New York, California as a journalist. Now I love education. I love being in the classroom helping young, you know, kids out. Why? Because of the things that I went through. Because, you know, when I went to college and I felt like this, and all these other things. And so, to the young people in Berkeley County, you've seen Casey, you've seen Sean, and I don't like to put myself on a pedestal. But, you know, you can see other people, you know, and you can really look at it and say, these people have trusted the process. These people have used what they've been through, and they made it work for them, you know. So whether you grow up in a single parent home, you got like 5 brothers and sisters and y'all ain't got nothing to eat, flip it. Right. Don't sit in it. Don't wallow in it. You know what I mean? Figure out how you can get purpose out of it. And so tell me a little bit about what keeps you going day to day. Like what is this? Tell me the most heart-wrenching thing you've seen as far as with a young black man.
Oh, most heart-wrenching thing? With all the events that were going on last week, you know, our black young men, not even just young, black men, period, it seems like we're being targeted for certain things. And just talking with friends and family members after these events, it affects our community drastically. And then when the events went down in Dallas, it was like now the world was on notice because of these events that went down in Dallas. But what about the 2 events that happened that led up to these events?
Right.
So we think about with our community, we always have to adapt to certain things, and we always have to fit in.
Right.
And so when those 2 events happened on Tuesday and Wednesday, a lot of my friends that work in corporate America, it was like it was nothing. No one ever wanted to talk about it, and so they were mad. And so it was like, oh, I'm gonna flip out on somebody in here because nobody wants to address it. But then when the things happened in Dallas and those officers lost their lives, it was like that's when the CEOs and everybody wanted to send out emails and everything and set up visuals and all that. So what about the 2 black men that lost their lives? It's like that's why the whole the gist for Black Lives Matter. It's not that white lives don't matter. It's the fact that when black lives are lost, it's like it's swept under the rug. So I had a lot of friends and family members, especially close male friends, and we talked about these certain things. And we were like, we weren't surprised that these events happened because that's how we grew up. We're not surprised that the cops are killing us.
And that's another thing I'll piggyback too is a lot of people ask me how I feel. We grew up in a really small town, and I mean, couple, you know, counties over. I mean, you can experience racism today. You just be like, okay. And it's not something. A lot of times, you know, like people we went to school with, they be like, "That's outrageous," and you be like, "No, I mean, it never stopped for us." I mean, when you grow up in a small town, it never stops. My husband, he has hair, he has dreads. We go to Walmart and people leave from down the aisle. I mean, it's not that, you know, you don't. It's just it never stopped for some of us, you know. And so you go and you don't use that necessarily as like a defense mechanism to be angry with the world, you know, but you talk about it. And that's one thing, you know, I like what you said is young black men talking. What I want also is you to see that he came out of what he was in and he's opening a platform for young black men to talk about things. And a lot of times society teaches young black men to just take it and just be strong and just don't cry and don't say nothing. And that ain't helping nobody. That's hurting your family, it's hurting your wives, it's hurting your children. You know, why kids want to know why daddy don't love. It's because daddy got so much harboring on the inside. because Daddy's really depressed,
Mm-hmm.
but Daddy never said anything, and so his sons
pick up
that trait.
It's like learned behavior. So,
yeah.
And I mean, growing up, my grandfather, my father, they taught me, oh, man, you're strong, you provide for your family, you do what you got to do. No emotion, none of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are the things that you learn at an early age, and you keep it. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Even when you're dealing with women or you're dealing with other men, you have to have this bravado.
Yeah.
You have to be macho.
Yeah.
You can't show any type of vulnerability.
Yeah.
So that's what, to get back to your question, that's what keeps me going, because whenever I share my story, it's 3 or 4 people that's going to talk to me after the fact, be like, yo, I know exactly what you're going through. Oh, I know exactly what you've been through. I feel the same type of way. What do you do? Or how do I get help?
Right.
That's what keeps me going.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm writing a blog post, somebody's going to send me an email. Be like, yo, that was dope. Or, yo, I know exactly what you mean. It's like, oh, I try to write to the point where they're in my head. Sometimes it's hard for me to put it into words, but they were like, yo, I feel like I was right there with you. And so you create that emotional connection with people, because, I mean, at the end of the day, money and all of those things, it's not going to matter. It's the lasting impact that you have on somebody else's life.
Right, exactly. And I love that you said that too, because, a lot of what Casey and Sean does is pro bono. It's they they work 9 to 5. Do you work 9 to 5? I don't know what you do, but I know what Casey he's doing. This is his office. I don't know. I haven't. I don't know. But what I do, I have a 9 to 5, but then I have a passion. Then I have something that I care about that benefits other people, and I don't do it for the money. I don't do it for my attention, because over the years I've actually wanted to get away from people in the spotlight. Just let me sit here with my husband and be quiet and live and have kids and just eat and sleep. You know what I mean? But that's just who I become. But I mean, that's neither here nor there.
But the beauty in that though is when you follow your passion, everything else is going to line up.
It does.
Because honestly, I quit my 9 to 5 job 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, "Oh, so what are you going to do now?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue working on my nonprofit, working on my different things. Well, how you going to pay bills? I don't know.
Yeah.
I never missed a rent payment.
Yeah.
None of my bills have never went over this course of 6 months.
Yeah.
Nothing has never been late.
Yeah.
So but I'm still doing what I love to do.
Yeah.
And things will end up lining up. Sometimes you gotta trust it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's another thing. Stepping out on faith, people, and just don't. I mean, Casey talked about it, Sean talked about it. Just do it. Don't, whatever you do, don't stay stagnant. Don't. What, stagnant water stinks, right?
Yeah.
Stagnant water stinks. Or stuff in stagnant water stinks. We don't know what actually the smell is coming from, but don't stay stagnant. Keep moving. Find out your purpose. Find out what you're passionate about, and talk about it. And
And you'll be surprised, honestly, the amount of growth that you'll experience when you step out there.
Yeah.
Because you stay in this one box, you're not going to grow at all. Like you start doing this vicious cycle. Oh, I'm going to work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate my job, or this and you're constantly doing. The next thing you know, you're 60 years old.
Yeah.
And I mean, I talk to my dad all the time, man.
But that's what you're taught.
Right,
we're
exactly.
Go to work, get a 401k, retire.
Right.
You're not taught to dream.
Exactly, right.
I mean? Yeah.
So I talk to my dad now. My dad has been working at his job since he was 18 years old. My dad is 58.
Did you know how old your dad is?
Man, look, can I get that? So he's been in his job for 40 years and still can't retire.
Wow.
With full benefits. What sense does that make?
Yeah.
That makes no sense to me at all.
Yeah.
And I have to listen to, you talk to your parents.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go to work. I mean, you listen to this stuff, and that's like a little motivator for me. Like, nah, that's not going to be me when I get almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
It can't be.
And we're all from Berkeley County.
Right.
It's not like we're from, we might have lived in other places. You live
choice.
Well, you know, it's but we all grew up here, and so, and we don't want to make it seem like it's bad to be here or anything, because it's lovely to be here. I love it, but we want to say wherever you are, whether you're at the highest of the high, lowest of the low, whether you rubbing elbows with millionaires or you rubbing elbows at the soup kitchen. Do what you do it well, find purpose, and live life beyond just the day to day, the mendacity of the day to day, But any last words you want to say about, talking to the black women, and a lot of times I'll tell you this about black women, a lot of times black women have what we call the superwoman complex. And that's a real, a real thing, right? Yeah. It's where you have taken on everything. You've taken on, and sometimes you don't have to be a single parent. Sometimes you can be married, and Right. But you've taken on everything, and all that weight is on you. And a lot of times you become depressed or you become overwhelmed, and it causes you to act out or do certain things. And so, we've talked about the young men, but say something to the young women who may be dealing with these things. Because young women, we'll talk about our feelings, but at the same time, it's only a certain point we'll go to.
Right. As far as, I actually spoke on this yesterday at a women's conference, about, the different roles and stuff that women play in, their lives of their significant others, their children, even in the workplace. And like you said, just bottling all those things in, and especially as a black woman, you feel like you have to be that. It's very similar to a black man. You have to be strong,
right?
Regardless, like we have to be resilient, regardless. But all of that thing, it's like a ticking time bomb, and so you have to have those different outlets to, relieve your stress. You have to develop those coping skills and understand that you can't do everything all the time. There's no way that you can be this savior for someone else if you're running on E. You have to be able to recharge your batteries. There's no other way around it. Like you have to, and it's okay to say no.
That is something that I have learned. That is something I have learned. I
it's
felt
okay
like I was
to
doing
say no.
everything.
Like definitely, it's okay to say no, because no one is going to take care of you better than you take care of yourself. Like, that's just it. Maybe your mom when you get sick or something like that. But no one is going to take better care of you than you take care of yourself. The more you allow people to put on your plate, they're going to keep piling it on. Because of the fact that, you keep taking it on. You don't set those, you have to set those boundaries. That's with significant others, that's with children, that's with in the workforce, that's with everybody. And this goes for everybody.
Like, and it doesn't mean you don't, love your mother, or you don't love your cousin or whatever. It just means you understand that you have limits that you can go to. You can love people, but still, they can understand that, I just can't be everywhere for you every day. It's just not possible. It's not healthy.
And then if you're also doing stuff for other people all the time, what point do you start chasing your own dreams? Next thing you know, like I said, it'll be 20 years down the road, you're like, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. And then, by that time, you're like, oh, I'm too old.
Yeah.
And you're never too old,
Never too old to start over.
But still, why not do it while you're young?
Yeah. And we don't want to create this facade like you can't help people, because I help people. I go out of my way all the time. But, use wisdom. You use wisdom, and, you have to understand that, sometimes there's more people than you, and it's a team effort.
Right. It's definitely a team effort.
So I just thank you. I didn't know I interviewed Casey today. I didn't know Shaun was gonna be here. Maybe I interviewed my husband one day. He don't like to be on camera. I think he's falling asleep, or he's really hungry. Either way. But before we close out, I just want to say, mental illness is it's a tough thing, man. A lot of African Americans deal with it, and like I said, this is not a race thing. Anybody knows me knows I love people of all colors. But just speaking of what I know. I know in the African American community that people do not address it. You know, it's not something that they talk about. But I will say this. In my struggle, I give my testimony. In my struggle with depression, feeling insecure, feeling having low self-esteem, just a whole bunch of different things. They all played into one another, and it affected how I treated people. Because I was insecure, because I felt less than, I treated people less than, and wanted them to be insecure to make me feel secure. I even remember being a little girl, and I was pretty overweight. I wouldn't go around, this is just real life, y'all. I wouldn't go around other little girls who were small because I thought that I was ugly. And I wouldn't befriend girls at a young age because they made me feel insecure. Granted, they never said anything, and that's a lot of times that's what some of this stuff does. Nobody said anything, nobody done anything, but how you feel, you'll start making up stuff in your mind. There were days that I couldn't sleep. There were days that, you know, he's my husband now, my boyfriend. At the time, he would know I would just pop off. I would just be really angry. And he would just be like, what is wrong with you today? He didn't do anything. Nobody did anything. But that day, I felt some type of way. And so I couldn't control it. I would just pop off, you know.
And piggybacking off of that, yeah. I mean, and also I like to teach people how to deal with people who may be suffering for something. Because, you know, when you're trying to address issues with other people, you have to know how to actually handle those types of things. Because
he was good.
Right. But I'm sure if Pat would have knew some more stuff, you may be like, he got to develop, I mean, your loved ones have to develop those coping skills as well. Right. And we have to pick up on, we have to step outside of ourselves sometimes to pick up on those, you know, different issues that may be going on with our close ones.
And especially with young people too, you know, if you got an angry teenager, you have no idea what they get. A lot of times they leave that house in the morning and they don't tell you what they go through from 8 to whatever time. I don't even know what time they have school nowadays. Right. From 8 to 3 or whatever. You don't know who picks on them. And, you know, even with guys deal with bullying. And they might laugh it off. Right. But, you know, we had a Coach Boyles, he used to say, if somebody called you stupid enough times, at some point, you be like, I'm stupid. You know, and that's even the strongest person, you know. And so, but yeah, I went through those things, and a big part of what I know, you know, what got me was God. When I turned to God and He let me know, you don't have to be who you think you're supposed to be. You know, you don't have to pretend no more. You know, you are beautiful. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. You know, you're not ugly. You know, you're my daughter. You know, I have a purpose for you. You know, you're not purposeless. You're not gonna, you know, He just kept confirming me and who I was in Him. And just my faith growing in God and just being able to have that stability. When nobody else in my life was stable. When Mama wasn't stable. When Mama and Daddy had issues. When my boyfriend had issues. You know, when everybody else had issues and I had nowhere to go, nowhere to turn, it was 3 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. I'm angry, happy, sad, hungry, mad. I remember the foundation of what my parents taught me. And I remember not having opened the Bible in months, maybe years. I remember not having prayed in years. Grew up in the church. Grew up in it. Always at church. Revival, Bible study, Sunday school. Man. Start getting older, you start getting managed. Yeah, got managed. And this is I mean, I remember just, you know, just not, you know, whatever, living life how I want to. And I remember opening up my Bible, and I remember going to the scripture, and I remember God speaking to me through that scripture. And I remember praying and saying, God, if you just do something. I just need some peace. I'm about to lose it, literally. And my life changed. I didn't get perfect overnight. You know, I didn't start doing everything right. I didn't even lose all of my anger. But slowly but surely, God began to show me, and it became a difference. Then God would say, okay, no, 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 no. This is not how you do it. You know, this is you love. And so for people who are dealing with depression, you know, if you're not diagnosed, you know, as whatever, bipolar, whatever you're dealing with, low self-esteem, know that one, you have God in heaven who can deliver you. And also know that He set people up with gifts in your community that will help you walk through these things and that will give you avenues. So, great interview with, I keep calling him Rwenshaun because you gotta see how his name is spelled. It's like RWE. I don't know, but yeah, that's why. But great interview. Please stay tuned for what this young man is doing, what Casey is doing, and what everybody else is doing. I can't interview. What you're doing. And I guess what I'm doing too. I suppose. Or whatever. But yes, we love y'all. Until the next edition. No more interviews today, so new dress.